There we go. All right, YouTube's with us. Very nice. Greetings, YouTube. Is that a little space heater right here? No, that is the pipes in the pipe closet, right behind this. There's a little, see, crap back there. That's what it is. They are noisy. Heck, most obnoxious thing. Turn on camera. Yeah, they don't shut up. Anytime anyone uses the water anywhere in the house, sink upstairs, especially in the kitchen, that thing just... It's a lot worse for me than it is for you guys. Because I have like noise gates and stuff, cutting most of the noise levels down from coming through the mic. But for me, I can't hear videos when I play them, so that's fun. All right. Well, anyway, give me a second. Let's see. Oh, finally it stops. My God, you're taking a bath in the freaking sink up there. Jeez. Where is my? There we are. Good. Good to go. Let me see what I have tagged first. Yeah, so this is the I believe the dad. Yeah. This is alleged to be the dad. I would encourage everyone to be very, very skeptical of any people being ID'd right now. The name Brian Cole is a very common name, obviously. And I've already seen multiple people floated. You know, one like a couple white guys, now a black guy. This guy's son, which I've seen an image of the son too. I don't know. This one kind of seemed like the best fit, like the bail bond company. You know, he has some association with the government through that. But I don't know. I haven't seen a full confirmation of his identity one way or the other just yet. Just the name and pictures of the house. Let's find that real quick.
Caesar Squad has confirmed the address. News crews starting to show up. Caesar Squad has confirmed.
Quite a nice neighborhood. I mean, most of the houses in this area are like pretty sizable like this. It's a little ways out of the DC area. It's like out towards the outskirts, the boonies a little bit. You know, where there's more room. Property's a little more affordable. These are roughly like $400,000 to $500,000 homes. It'd be much more expensive just 20 minutes away, like right around here. They'd be easily over $1 million. Crazy how much of a difference like 20 minutes makes. I think it's actually a little more like 30, 40 minutes, but you know, whatever. Let's see. I've seen differing reports of his age at either 30 or 33. That may trace back to the failure to identify him properly by various news outlets. Where'd my search go? There it is. Okay, that's what I was looking for. The aerial.
Caesar squad has.
Oh, give me the. There we are.
Arrested for suspected of planting pipe bombs outside of the RNC and DNC headquarters near the U.S. Capitol complex. It's been nearly 5 years ago that this happened. That's about 35 miles outside of D.C. where they are now. And I want to bring in on the phone Paul Morrow, former NYPD inspector, arrested for planting.
That's the house there. A nice piece of property, cul-de-sac. Nice big backyard. Some woods. I don't know. That might be more than a little more than 500K. Shit.
Caesar squad has.
It's all just the same video. Yeah.
The scene. One of the things we also don't have right now is sound.
Bringing in dogs, sweeping every inch of the house.
Because of the distance, obviously, the cameras. So, you know, if they are evacuating this neighborhood, what that would look like, because now they've surrounded this house and we're able to see this from our aerial capture of.
Yeah, I don't know what to think yet. I'm kind of like reserving judgment until we see some of the evidence. I gotta say, I was a little like thrown off because obviously I thought it was a woman based on, well, just gut instinct. Really, it wasn't. It's not like I was basing that on anything at all other than my gut. So I'm not like broken up about it and swearing up and down that this ain't the guy. Although I'm sure some people are, especially the Blaze and all those people. I bet they're not terribly pleased by this. Because I'm sure it means a loss. It means lawsuits for them. Yep. So no idea on this guy, whether this is the guy or not. We shall see as they start making their case public. But yeah, I was surprised to see that it was a black guy. A black guy especially. Like if it was a guy, I would have expected a nerdy kind of like, you know, some fat in the hips, like a little girly, maybe, a little IT guy, maybe, something like that. But not like a bail bonds is bizarre. I don't know. The guy was not what I was expecting, I guess. Even if it was a guy. I was very surprised by that. But again, I'm not gonna write it off based on that. Perfectly willing to believe that it could be a black guy. I mean, we had nothing. We had very little to go on. Everyone was just doing guesswork. So, we'll see. I'm very curious to see what the actual hard evidence they have against him is. So, from what I understand, it sounds like the initial team that was on this basically failed to turn anything up, and eventually Director Patel or Bongino, I don't know, or both or something, put a new team on it. I don't remember how long ago, like a month. I forget what they said, like a month ago or so. They put a new team on it, and that new team, took a fresh look at the evidence and were able to chase some things down and turn this guy up, which sounds like plausible enough as a story to me. It does happen, Case goes cold, trail goes cold for any number of differing reasons with one team, and you throw a new team of eyes on it, and sometimes that's all it takes. Or for whatever reason, you know, whether the first team was being held up by stupidity or deliberate obfuscation or what, who knows? Hopefully we find out that eventually too. FBI news conference coming. I assume they already held it, but
The scene. One of the things we also don't have right now is sound because of the distance, obviously, of the cameras. So, you know, if they are evacuating this neighborhood, what that would look like, because now they've surrounded this house and we're able to see this from...
Yeah, they better be checking that place top to bottom for explosives, of course.
Our aerial capture of this live. So, you know, Carly, many times when we're covering breaking news like this, well, the dog is showing some activity, but again, we don't want to speculate.
Yeah, we certainly don't. It is really interesting to see this home that we're looking at right now. Woodbridge is a suburb of Washington, D.C., about 20 miles outside the city. It looks like a beautiful home. And
oh, no, that's not true, Billy. Billy says the only one who wasn't sure it was that girl, assuming the Blaze girl was 80s Aaron. No, I warned you guys. Warned you guys right off the bat. I told y'all. That story was sketchy as fuck. There was nothing backing that thing up. Less than nothing. Less than nothing backing that story up. It was a joke. Maybe you missed it, Billy, but yeah, I told you. Don't you be wary of that Blaze story. That's cool. Aaron was on it too, though. Good for her. Yeah, the gate analysis, like that they A, yeah, okay, but B, refused to show. Ridiculous. Really kind of curious about okay, so let me see if we can find the mention of the new team being put on, because I'm very curious about the timelines of when the old team got pulled off, when this story at the Blaze tumbled out into the public sphere. You know, when those things kind of fall on the timeline. Okay, this is, I guess it's John Solomon that talks about it here.
Mentioned, I think it was just before Thanksgiving on your show. I thought there would be an arrest this week. They were zeroing in.
Oh, and I guess Solomon also let drop that he was expecting an arrest this week. So there was an expectation that an arrest was coming
On a gentleman whom they arrested this morning in Northern Virginia. And the way this case was cracked was about a month or 6 weeks ago. Bongino, who was the lead on it, and Patel decided to take the old agents off the case and put a new team on it. Now, there was a little resistance, as there always is in the FBI, to any form of change. But the new team came in, they applied some new ideas, some new technologies, and some of the evidence that was sitting right in front of them with fresh eyes was followed, and it was able to be led to this gentleman who they arrested a little bit ago. We don't know much about his ideology or his intentions or his motives yet. And one of the things that FBI officials stressed with me this morning is that this is really the beginning. The arrest is the beginning of trying to understand how this operation was conducted, who's behind it, whether there are more conspirators or whether this is a lone wolf. Still all of that to be determined, but a really extraordinary effort. Almost 5 years later, with a fresh set of eyes and a different approach, the FBI that couldn't solve the case for 4.5 years solves it, very much like the way the Charlie Kirk investigation occurred.
So there's the timeline. The way this case was cracked about 6 weeks ago, a new lead was put on. So when did the Blaze story come out? And what was that girl's name that they blamed, that they pointed the finger at for this? I already forgotten her name. On a blank. We'll just search pipe bomber. When did their story first come out? It was not 6 weeks ago, but less. I'm sure it took time to put, some kind of narrative together. November 10th. So about a month ago. Oh no, so actually a few days before November 10th. So more like the 8th. Like 36 hours before this post. So that's right, Miss Kirchhoff, that was her name. Gotta say, that is a pretty sketchy timeline if you ask me. I mean, what, about 2 weeks after the old team gets yanked out of nowhere, presumably just pulled off the case, no warning, and a new team put on, completely new team. 2 weeks later, we see the Blaze charting that story out there. That's sketchy as fuck, man. And it's a shame because I like Glenn Beck. I mean, I don't trust him in the same sense that I don't really trust any of these people. But I like him. I think he's done good work before. It may be that he didn't really have any. I mean, you would think that he would be a little smarter than this, having had all the years in the business that he's had. You would think that he would see the danger for him and his organization and his employees inherent in tossing a name out there so irresponsibly like that. I don't know, man. Would like to think better of him, but I think now there's a big question mark kind of hanging. Certainly a big question mark over Steve Baker, who I've met and also like, but again, don't trust. And my reasons for mistrusting him go a little bit further than the average media bear. And I can't really say why that is. Not because I can't, but I just I don't want to say it, but because I literally can't. I don't know what it is. Like I couldn't name it if you press me. Like I don't know what it was, but there's just something about Baker that I did not trust. Met him on a couple occasions for rather extended time too. Had lunch with him personally, like one-on-one, more or less. And there was just something that I don't know. You know that feeling that you get sometimes that you just can't place, but you always wonder about. It was like that. So that's one of the main reasons I warn everyone to be wary of that. That and just because it was a flat story with nothing backing it, just generally speaking. But yeah, there was something about Baker I did not trust when I met him. Of course, that's not proof of anything at all. He may be a great guy. I could just be a weird thing. I have no clue. But he seemed to me to be like fishing for info, certain topic, and No, I'm not going to say any more than that, but just it's just weird. All right. Let's keep going. Yeah, Billy, that was the sense that I got. Yeah, is precisely the feeling that I got. Yep. What did I leave off in my pile here? It's all old stuff. Oh, I'm on the wrong page. Fine. All right, you know what? Sorry, I also got to pull up YouTube chat here. I had the old YouTube chat up by accident. Sorry, YouTube, I wasn't seeing your messages. I was stuck on the old chat from yesterday. There we go. All right. We can pick up with... Oh, this was interesting. Ron Johnson talking about Tower 7.
Well, while we're on that topic...
A sitting U.S. senator basically saying out loud that he thinks that Tower 7 looks like it was taken down in a controlled demolition. It's a very big deal. Especially from someone like Ron Johnson, not just any sitting senator.
I mean, the World Trade Center, the Tower 7. You've talked about it, and I know you're trying to investigate it. There's so many odd things about that building, the fact that it fell down at all. What have you learned from that, and what can you tell us about the mystery?
So I want to say this right away because you were giving me all this credit for providing information that you could use. We rely on investigatory reporters like yourself and John Solomon. I mean, first of all, you get whistleblowers that have confidence that their identity is not going to be blown, right?
Yeah.
We're very good in my office, but not every office in Congress is.
No.
And so people are highly reluctant to come forward to a congressional office and provide information because they think their anonymity will be broken. So again, you've done fabulous work when it comes to these things. When it comes to 9/11, I got involved in that because Richard Blumenthal, as chairman of PSI in the last Congress, you wanted to do investigation of the deal that PGA Tour was doing with Live Golf and Saudi Arabia and PIF.
Yeah.
Which I think that's private parties. That's we shouldn't even be putting our nose under that tent,
He's just
right?
looking for dirt on Trump.
But because of that, all the 9/11 families came to me saying, "Hey, listen, look at this heavily redacted report from the FBI in terms of what we knew about Saudi involvement. Can you get this unredacted?" So that began my involvement. Again, I'm from Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Obviously saw 9/11, knew it changed the world, but again, I didn't know anybody in the towers. It wasn't down the street from me and stuff. So I bought the narrative, hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you have people starting to feed you information. And right now, I'm in a position where we're gathering information. And, to your audience, if you got information, we'll look at it. Okay, we're going to take it all with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, my staff's primary goal is get the information, debunk it.
Right.
Literally. I mean, it's like
That's 100% fair.
holes in it.
Yeah.
Because
That's what we do.
That's how you do it. That's how journalism's done.
Because I don't want to be talking about anything that
Waste time,
okay.
yeah.
But I mean, there are so many legitimate questions here that I don't mind asking.
Like what?
And it starts with Building 7.
Yeah.
I had never heard of it. First of all, we're describing why is it so difficult to talk about these things? I mean, why are these legitimate questions just quashed? And it's because there's something there. Okay, there's something that has not been explained. But we're also getting creamed in the comment sections like, how could you guys not know about this?
Right.
Again, I wasn't a 9/11.
Yeah.
But it's because it's been suppressed.
Yes.
And that in and of itself
is suspicious.
It is. I mean, like most of America
It's a fascinating conversation.
had never heard.
It's really interesting to hear like such a to hear this kind of point of view from a senator in a more kind of laid back setting, like a less structured and just a more informal conversation, where they're just kind of speaking their mind on things. It's really interesting things are coming out of this. Like the fact that he didn't know, I find really interesting. And that he's so willing to talk about it and so candidly too. Yeah, it's just a really interesting clip.
Of World Trade Center 7.
No.
We know the Twin Towers, but whoa, you mean another 40-foot tall building collapsed, and a BBC reporter's on the air talking about how it collapsed, but it's still standing over her left shoulder. And you look at the video of it, and you have kind of one view. It sure looks like a controlled demolition. You got somebody expert in controlled demolition saying, interviewed years later going, well, it's controlled demolition, right? No, that building collapsed on September 11th. So again, there are so many unanswered questions. And people
heard explosions, didn't they?
Oh yeah, I mean, that was Graham McQueen. Before he died, he was doggedly looking for every bit of evidence, and he found something like 150 some documented recordings of first responders, reporters that morning of 9/11 saying they heard explosions. And yet the 9/11 Commission, they never talk about it.
Right.
And this never talks about it. You had, I think Barry Jennings.
So glad he's bringing that up too. That's great.
The gentleman's name went up.
The explosions. Like that's another big one that, I mean, there's lots of wee-woo crap that floats around 9/11 circles, but the good stuff, like the stuff that can't be questioned, like that's good to hear. It's good to hear them talking about it like that.
He was in Building 7. It already cleared out, told him to get out of the building, couldn't get out of there because the stairwell in between the 6th and 8th floor had blown out.
Wow. All right. Oh, Somali meltdowns. There's, I guess Somalis are melting down on TikTok, and glorious.
As a Somali American who lives in Minnesota, it's really disheartening to hear and to read comments about my community.
Oh, it's almost like you should go back to Somalia.
To hear people write, go home. To those people, I want you to know that America is home. I have lived in America since I was 7 years old.
But where was home before that?
So when you tell me to go home, I think, okay, do they want me to go to...
No, you know where they mean.
Minneapolis, where I first lived? Or,
you know.
Or maybe to St. Paul? Or...
No.
Brooklyn Park?
No.
Again, we are your neighbors. We are your teachers.
No.
We are your principals.
No.
We are your lawyers.
No.
We are your... You can fill in the blank. We are Minnesotans.
Your Somali pirates?
As a...
Oh, more on that Australian satanic pedo ring. Anything worthwhile here? A far-left activist, journalist, and a former swim coach are among those arrested for what authorities describe as particularly devastating crimes. Investigators allege the men traded ritualistic child abuse through a global website. A global website. Ooh. Seized devices reportedly held thousands of videos, including children ages 0 through 12. And animals. One suspect, Landon Germanotta Mills, he seems to have taken that name from Lady Gaga. It is Lady Gaga's given name. And he follows Lady Gaga and her mother on social media. They do not follow him. I tried to just see Just look, just to see if he happened to actually be a Germanata, and it didn't seem so. It seemed like a name that he had adopted, like a weirdo. So make of that what you will. Publicly campaigned against institutional abuse while allegedly committing horrendous abuse himself. Like, yeah. Okay. How far does the network reach? Yeah, that's kind of the... I'm very curious to know about that website.
The thought of internationals...
Does this get into the goods at all? Yeah, there's Landon.
3 other men allegedly involved in the pedophile network were arrested at a unit block in Malabar on Thursday and charged with several child abuse offences. The other person mentioned here is Benjamin Raymond Drysdale, 46, was charged with using a carriage service to make child abuse available. 2 counts of...
I think it's all stuff we've already seen up to this point. Yeah. I don't think we'll get any goods in that until the trial starts progressing. Okay. Oh, the whole narco vote scandal has collapsed, I guess. Surprise, surprise.
Tonight, new information. According to a source familiar with the incident, the 2 survivors climbed back onto the boat after the initial...
Oh, so they tried to keep going. They tried to get the cocaine and keep going.
Strike. They were believed to be potentially in communication with others and salvaging some of the drugs. Because of that, it was determined they were still in the fight and valid targets. And
yep.
JAG officer
Kaboom
was also giving legal advice.
Of course they were.
This backs up the entire second strike.
Yes, I mean, it just doesn't get more crystal clear than that. The mission is take out the boat, stop the drugs, keep this vessel and its cargo from reaching our shore using lethal means. And our amazing military, the heroes of the United States Armed Forces, did exactly that. President Trump, Secretary Hegseth, and this entire government are committed to finally using our military to defend our people, our borders, our family, our culture, our history, our heritage, to defend the United States. We're not going off running around the Middle East trying to build democracies in caves and deserts and in distant sands that have never known democracy. We're using the military to protect American security, American prosperity, American lives right here where we live, where our children live.
Tonight,
Pastor Derek Reamer arrested after refusing court-ordered apology in Canada for protesting a kid-friendly drag queen story hour at a local library. The court, I guess he was arrested for protesting, and the court ordered him to apologize, which he refused to do. Good for him. And for that refusal, he has been arrested. Again.
Yeah, need the feelings, please? No, just the regular, please. Okay. So you're under arrest for your breach of CSO. Can you...
He would not say sorry to the drag queens.
Come inside with us, please? Yep.
Based.
Right here? Okay. Sounds good. Are you able to drop that for me or pass it off to one of your friends? Can I finish it? Well, you can finish it.
You know why you're arresting this man for? He refused to apologize for his religious beliefs. Are you aware of that?
I am not aware of
He's protecting your children and your grandchildren.
Yep. Somalis in Minneapolis openly admit they'd prefer to live under Sharia law and would rather be in a Muslim-majority country. So, if that's the case, why aren't you? Why are you here? Why are you in our country? Could it be because you're trying to make it a Muslim-majority country?
Do you feel more comfortable living under American law, or do you feel more comfortable living under Sharia law?
Sharia law. I'm a Muslim. I prefer Sharia law. Sharia law, yes.
You prefer Sharia law over American law?
Of course, yeah. Of course, yeah.
And do you find most of your friends feel the same way?
Yeah, of course. If you're Muslim, yeah.
He can make his daughter marry somebody.
Yeah, he can. Yeah, he can. he has the authority, you know?
Authority.
Yeah, to do that. Yeah.
So here, how young do you think it's okay?
Yeah, 15.
Is it right to kill
It's okay to marry at 15, she says.
somebody who insults Muhammad?
Forcefully. Against the young lady's will.
Yeah, because she is just, she had the religion, I understand. But she shouldn't beat up the prophet, you know?
So you understand why people would want to attack her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Choice. Would you rather live here or would you rather live in a Muslim country?
I'd rather live in a Muslim country with my people.
Would you prefer to live in America or prefer to live in Somalia?
For me, I think it's Somalia.
Yeah, so why the fuck? Why are you here?
I would rather live in Somalia.
Why are you here?
I'm not Americanized. I just speak fluent, and I'm, you know what I mean. I'm artistic.
This is just bonkers. Like, go home. Why are you here?
What I'm trying to say, you know what I mean. That's about it. But other than that, I mean, as far as my culture and my preferences and everything, it's still Somali. You know what I mean.
Even though here you have all the freedom and stuff like that.
And even though I have all the freedom,
Do you think life might be better in Somalia than here?
because now you have the freedom of it, of practicing your religion while working and doing your other things.
Yes. New Orleans. Greg Bovino is being treated like a celebrity. Fantastic.
Now, the agents did get some heckling, but there were shots.
Look at this.
Lots of support as well, and people who wanted to stop and take selfies, particularly with Chief Bovino.
I'm an immigrant. I'm from South Africa. I came here legally, in the legal way, in terms of my legal visa, and I did everything by the book.
DHS released mugshots of some of the people arrested so far as part of Operation Catahoula Crunch. The crimes include everything from battery to domestic violence and child endangerment. Unlike Chicago, what we did not see are the big crowds form up and riot control measures used like gas, things of that nature. The big difference seems to be cooperation from local authorities.
Nice. Good job, New Orleans. Okay, we covered all that. Oh, this is interesting. Some polling on the Second Amendment. Swinging in favor of the Second in gun ownership. Total among the polled that support self-defense with a firearm, 77% versus 17% oppose. 63% supporting national concealed carry reciprocity versus 27% opposing. That's overwhelming. That's a big deal. Anyway, yeah, found that interesting. Cool. MSNBC says the quiet part out loud. Oh, about the pipe bomb case?
One of the sticky issues for the FBI, and we'll be really keen to hear the explanation for this, but one of the sticky issues is that why didn't analysts and investigators at the FBI sort of connect these dots earlier when this person's information was already in evidence the FBI had in hand, and mostly evidence it had collected in 2021 and 2022? One of the sticky issues.
Indeed, MSNBC. Why did it take them 5 years to connect the dots with evidence they had from pretty much day one? Why? Tim Waltz, this is just too delicious. Too delicious. Tim Waltz complaining because people are driving by his house at nighttime and yelling, "Retard!"
True.
Yes, really.
This creates danger. And I'll tell you what, in my time on this, I'd never seen this before. People driving by my house and using the R word in front of people.
Not the R word, Tim.
This is shameful. And I have yet to see an elected official, a Republican elected official, say, "You're right, that's shameful."
Could that be because it's not shameful and you actually, in fact, are retarded?
He should not say it. So look, I'm
unless, of course, it's true. Which it is.
Worried. We know how these things go. They start with taunts, they turn to violence. So deeply concerned. True.
Yes, that's right. You have people saying retard, and before you know it, riots. All right, on to the main pile here. What is going on with this play? Okay, there we go. All right, down, down, down. Down we go. What's Trump up to today? Ah, National Christmas Tree Lighting Ceremony. That should be going here before too much longer. Let's pull that up. We'll get ready to see that. Oh, they don't have a feed up yet, but soon, I assume. Pentagon has issued this official statement regarding the lawsuit filed by the New York Times. We're aware of the New York Times lawsuit and look forward to addressing these arguments in court. They're suing over being kicked out, I guess. Trouble for the GOP. Looking ahead to 2026, as it stands now, it's projected that the Democratic Party will win the House. Oh, Jesus. That's not good. Something better change drastically in the next 6-7 months. President Trump orders flags to be flown half-staff until sunset in memory of Sarah Beckstrom, the young lady who was shot in D.C. Oh, what's this? Just yesterday, Steve Baker, who wrongly claimed a female Capitol Police officer set the devices, blamed the FBI for his failure to provide any more meaningful updates to his gate analysis story. That's funny. In case you're wondering, he said, in case you're wondering why there has been no action on our series of stories revealing knowledge and complicity by certain Capitol Police actors in the J6 pipe bombs conspiracy, they are being completely steamrolled by the Comey Ray zealots they've promoted. Well, that didn't age well. Okay, another huge Trump victory. Cabinet manufacturer Wellborn is investing $30 million and creating 400 new jobs. Very cool. In Alabama. Oh, Derek Chauvin files for a new trial. He disputes medical testimony and police training evidence from the original trial. Will he get it, though? Will he get a new trial? Hope so. Speaker announced that in light of the swearing in of Rep. Van Epps from Tennessee, the whole number of the House is 433, 220 Republicans, and 213 Democrats with 2 vacancies. Oh boy, Rev. Nancy Mace, South Carolina, considering retiring early from Congress to run for governor. She represents a Trump plus 13 district. If Democrats overperform in South Carolina's 1st district, it may be very tight in a special election to replace her. Yeah, yikes. Last night's Tennessee District 7 swung about 13 points to the left. Ugh.
Yesterday, and they have begun
more on Bovino in New Orleans.
For their operation here in a very rainy and cold New Orleans. As you mentioned, we were with them yesterday as they first targeted the parking lot of a Home Depot. They target the Home Depots because they know that is where people who don't have legal status often wait around for day labor. What we didn't see yesterday was a big roundup of individuals. It was no secret that Border Patrol was coming down to the Big Easy, and what we have through local reporting is that people who don't have legal status stayed home, laid low, largely stayed out of sight. So ultimately, Chief Greg Bovino Camino, and the El Centro sector agents mounted up a foot patrol and came right here through the heart of the French Quarter. It seems pretty clear that you're wanting your presence to be known.
Well, we're a uniformed law enforcement agency, Mike, as you know, so this is what we do.
Yesterday, and they...
Yep. Speaking of New Orleans, please toss some prayers up for our host, Badass Uncle Sam. I know he's in a rather rough spot with his living situation. I don't know if anyone happens to be in that neck of the woods, but if you are, and there's any way you can help him, I know it would be much appreciated. Yeah, I know he's having a really rough time. Just a shitty spell, you know. It sucks. It's the worst. But if nothing else, please pray for him to get some relief. I know it sucks. It still sucks out there right now for a lot of people. Big time. Chuck Schumer, today I'm announcing, and speaking of, by the way, he missed it this morning. He announced that he's going to have to be stepping back from hosting for the time being until he gets his living situation figured out. So we now have some open time slots in need of filling for the time being, for the foreseeable future. Excuse me. He's on, or what I guess was on, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 9 to 11 a.m., and then Monday evening, 5 to 7. Oh, there's 4 primetime slots that need filling. Any current hosts or would-be new hosts, maybe, would like to get their feet wet a little bit, we would love to have you. All right, let's see Chuck. What's Chuck whining about? Announcing Senate Democrats will introduce legislation for a clean 3-year extension of the current ACA tax credits. Oh man, they're trying to salvage that shite pile.
President, today I'm announcing that Senate Democrats will introduce legislation for a clean 3-year extension of the current ACA tax credits. This is the bill, a clean 3-year extension of ACA tax credits that Democrats will bring to the floor of the Senate for a vote next Thursday, and every single Democrat will support it. Republicans have 1 week to decide where they stand. Vote for this bill and bring health care costs down, or block this bill and send premiums skyrocketing. That's what's at stake when we vote next week. It's going to be one of the most important votes we take because it's showing who's on the side of the American people and lowering their health care costs and who's on the side of the big special interests and is
that would be you.
Going to raise health care.
That would be you.
Costs.
It's always been you. You'd have to be an idiot at this point to think otherwise. Admiral Bradley has just arrived on Capitol Hill, accompanied by Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, General Dan Kane, ahead of questioning from lawmakers around the September boat strikes, which is now pretty much a moot point, it seems. Oh, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum, that's it. They should be holding talks with Trump in Washington on Friday. Wonder what about? Anti-ICE protesters shut down NOLA City Council meeting after demanding to speak about ICE in New Orleans and city collaboration. Oh, public meltdowns and freakouts. Have fun. Collective meltdowns and public freakouts. Oh my gosh.
City Council, get you!
speak, do your job.
Bet he's fun at parties. And she is too. The mask. My goodness, you gotta be shitting me. I'm sorry, could you remove the... I can't... I need to see people's mouths when they're talking. It's the thing. I can't understand you, and I gotta see it. I'm sorry, what? She's probably a spitter, so thankfully, it's at least protecting everyone around her.
Shut it down! Shut it down!
Oh, yeah. All right. Former world leader thanks Trump for pardon. Oh, what's his name? Cuellar? Henry Cuellar? Yeah. Or no, the other guy. Honduran guy. Juan Orlando Hernandez, yeah. Trump says, I'm dealing with the poisoning of America. More ways than one, indeed. Okay, remember bank records don't lie, James Comer says. Same way we traced the Biden family's bank records, I issued subpoenas to JP Morgan and Deutsche Bank to uncover Jeffrey Epstein's money trail. This is what survivors asked for, and GOP oversight's following the money. All right.
House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer issuing subpoenas to JP Morgan and Deutsche Bank for all of Jeffrey Epstein's financial records. The chairman also requesting additional documents from U.S. Virgin Islands Attorney General Gordon Rea. Joining me now is the man himself, Kentucky Congressman, Chairman of the House Oversight Committee, James Comer. Mr. Chairman, good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. So what are you looking for? And tell me what you expect, how this plays out.
Well, we really don't know. We're going to follow the money. That's what we've been instructed to do. This is a very serious, credible investigation. We want to know the truth. We want to give the American people answers. If there's a list of people who were participating in sex trafficking, we want to know who they are, and we want to hold them accountable. We want to find justice for the victims, as well as to try to find out why the government failed so many people. So I think with the bank records, we'll be able to find accounts, we'll be able to trace the money and determine if there were people that were paying Jeffrey Epstein for services, or if Jeffrey Epstein was paying and purchasing women in other countries or wherever. I mean, these are some of the worst crimes I've ever seen inflicted on young women, and it just doesn't seem like the federal government over the past 2 decades did anything to help these victims.
You know, I don't think it's lost on anybody that here you have banks potentially involved in, enabling this sex offender, and yet who did they debank in 2020?
Yeah,
Donald Trump.
Right. Yeah.
My goodness.
By all accounts, the banks were notifying the government. The banks suspected that this type of activity was taking place with Epstein, by all accounts. So, we're gonna try to determine what the banks knew. But the banks did what they're supposed to do. If they filed those suspicious activity reports, then it's up to the federal government to follow through. So there are many steps along the way where I believe these women, these victims or survivors, whatever you want to say, they were let down by the federal government. The federal government didn't do its job in protecting people, in identifying criminal activity and doing something about it.
Do you have a read on how many suspicious transactions took place at these banks?
Yeah, there were hundreds and hundreds of them. But again, Epstein was a big operator. I mean, you look at his estate; it's worth nearly $1 billion. So he had a lot of financial activity. We don't know a lot. All we know is he's a financier. When we get these bank records, we'll do like we did in the Biden investigation. We'll be able to follow the money. We'll be able to identify different LLCs and different corporations to see where his money was coming from and where it was going.
Are we going to see the client list?
I don't think there's an actual Epstein list, but if we're able to follow the money, maybe we can construct a list.
I see. Meanwhile, Attorney General Pam Bondi's office is reviewing all of the pardons signed by former President Joe Biden's auto pen. And this following your committee's report, which argued that any executive actions that were signed by that auto pen without the written proof of Biden's approval should be considered null and void. What are we talking about? What should be considered null and void?
Well, look, we subpoenaed all of Joe Biden's records, his calendar.
Okay, now they're into Joe Biden. We'll keep moving. We got more to get to. Federal law enforcement have deployed dogs at the house.
The scene. One of the things we also
of the alleged pipe bomber.
Don't have right now is sound because of the distance, obviously, of the cameras. So when we're covering breaking news like this, well, the dog is showing some activity, but again, we don't want to speculate.
Yeah, we certainly don't.
Good puppy.
It is really
Who's a good boy?
interesting to see this home that we're looking at right now. Woodbridge is a suburb of Washington, D.C. About
GAO, the Government Accountability Office, finds fraud in Obamacare subsidies. $94 million paid to insurers for deceased people, for dead people. Wow. Jeez, man. Wonder how bad the rest of the fraud is. 94 million just for the dead people. What about the rest of it? 7,000 dead people.
Caesar.
All right, we've seen that. Minnesota AG Keith Ellison says there's nothing he would have done differently after the state was warned about massive fraud that cost taxpayers over $1 billion, and they just repeatedly ignored it.
I do want to ask you about the fraud scandal. I mean, because the president's comments seem at least in part fueled by, or he's talking about this fraud scandal that we mentioned earlier involving that charity called Feeding Our Future. The vast majority of these 70 defendants charged in the case were Somali.
Feeding Our Future. Yes, the future of Somalian migrants.
Perspective, those are nearly 80,000 Somalis in the state. How much, critics have said that state officials, including you and the governor, did not act fast enough or quickly enough to investigate charges of fraud against the Feeding Our Future and did little to flag their allegations to federal authorities. I know you said it was the federal government that didn't move fast enough. Is there something you wish you had done differently?
No, first of all, the Department of Education denied claims when questionable claims were made about these meals. My office went to court, explained that to the court. A judge actually found the department in contempt for denying claims. And we cooperated fully and worked well with the FBI. We're glad that we took the action that we did.
House just passed the Protect Our Kids Act. 164 House Democrats voted against it. Legislation that combats foreign interference by prohibiting federal education funds from being given to any school that receives CCP funding. Jeez. Okay, Solomon again on the pipe bomber.
Well, as I mentioned, I think it was just before Thanksgiving on your show, I thought there would be an arrest this week. They were zeroing in on a gentleman whom they arrested this morning in Northern Virginia. And the way this case was cracked was about a month or 6 weeks ago. Bongino, who was the lead on it, and Patel decided to take the old agents off the case and put a new team on it. Now, there was a little resistance, as there always is in the FBI, to any form of change. But the new team came in, they applied some new ideas, some new technologies, and some of the evidence that was sitting right in front of them with fresh eyes was followed, and it was able to be led to this gentleman who they arrested a little bit ago. We don't know much about his ideology or his intentions or his motives yet. One of the things that FBI officials stressed with me this morning is that this is really the beginning. The arrest is the beginning of trying to understand how this operation was conducted, who's behind it, whether there are more conspirators or whether this is a lone wolf. Still all of that to be determined, but a really extraordinary effort. Almost 5 years later, with a fresh set of eyes and a different approach, the FBI that couldn't solve the case for 4.5 years solves it. Very much like the way the Charlie Kirk investigation occurred in the first few hours. There were a lot of FBI agents in old guard that didn't want to put the suspect's photo out, but Kash Patel and Bongino insisted that was going to be key to getting the father to flip. And they put the photo out, the father flips, and of course you get that arrest as we see. What you're seeing is a different mentality in the FBI. And that plays out in two different ways. First, you see successes that we haven't seen in a while, lots of arrests, cases solved that had not been solved for a long time, other cases which could have gone on for months being solved in 33 hours like Charlie Kirk's assassin. The second part is it results in a lot of whining from FBI people who think they know what's better. And you see that even in the Miranda Devine story earlier this week. You've got these grousers and grouchers because the truth of the matter is Donald Trump ordered Patel and Bongino to break glass at the FBI. They broke glass. And now the FBI is doing things differently. They're succeeding, but there are people who want to focus on the whining and crying, not actually the success of what the FBI has been doing. The way they solved this case was fresh thinking.
Guy Tim Burchett formally asking President Trump to cut off all NGO funding, all of it, until they can figure out where all the money is actually going. Yeah, that's the way to go. That would really be something. These organizations misuse taxpayer dollars in ways that undermine U.S. national security. For example, after President Biden's disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan, NGOs were found to have directly and indirectly funded the Taliban with estimates exceeding $5 billion. Wow. Domestically, NGOs facilitated the influx of millions of immigrants from third world countries into communities across our nation. Since 1992, NGOs have worked tirelessly to import roughly 80,000 Somalians into Minnesota, the state located in America's heartland. This invasion has fueled rampant fraud within the Somali community, with over $1 billion stolen from child nutrition and social services programs and laundered to terrorist organizations. In light of the issues mentioned, I respectfully request that you suspend all disbursements to NGOs until additional governmental oversight mechanisms are established. Good. Wow, Russia has blocked Snapchat nationwide. It over the risk to children? I'll bet. Good. It's a good move. Oh, well, I guess not. Due to terrorist activities, apparently. Yeesh. Putin says we should engage, not obstruct U.S. talks on Ukraine. You tell that to Europe. Whoa, Russia also bans U.S. children's gaming platform Roblox for distributing LGBT propaganda and extremist material, which they do. Somali, Minnesota State Senator Zainab Mohammed is being slammed for making a ridiculous assertion. Minnesota would not be able to survive without the Somali community here. Minnesota wouldn't survive without Somalis. Are you shitting me?
State Senator Zainab Mohammed says these attacks won't stop with Somalis, and their contributions can't easily be erased.
We are in every industry, and Minnesota would not be able to survive.
Oh, we can erase that just fine. Go back to Somalia. We'll take care of it.
Nor thrive without the Somali community here.
What an insane statement to make. My God. Go back, ma'am. First China Airlines flight has landed at Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport, launching a nonstop service between Phoenix and Asia for the first time ever. Planes are neat. CBS News Barry Weiss to host a town hall with Erica Kirk. I don't trust that bitch. Barry Weiss, I mean. Erica Kirk, I mean, you know, I don't know. But Barry Weiss, nope. No, sir. AstroTurfed to oblivion and beyond. Something wrong with that. Minnesota Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan says Somalians are the fabric of our state and calls Trump racist for exposing fraud.
You know, this vile, racist stream
Minnesota, like, come on.
Of consciousness from President Old Man Yells at Cloud.
You mean, are you really, have you seen Tim Walz?
You're disgusting. And the people of this country deserve so much better. I just watched the video of Donald Trump attacking the beautiful Somali community that calls Minnesota home. They are part of the fabric of our state. I'm literally going down Lake Street right now, which is you know, one of the hearts of the Somali community.
Make sure your doors are locked. Don't get raped.
These are teachers and nurses and neighbors
and pirates
and mayors and our friends.
I'm the captain now.
And we are going to stand shoulder to shoulder with our neighbors. And that's just who we are as Minnesotans and what we're going to do.
Where is it?
Look at me, sure. Look at me, sure. I'm the captain now.
What a movie. Good movie. Documents from the case where Judge Sarah West overturned the unanimous jury conviction of Abdi Fattah Abdul Qadir Yusuf, who stole $7.2 million from taxpayers, are about to be released. Overturned a unanimous jury conviction. Okay. Pramila Jayapal says immigrants from Somalia, India, Latin America, and Africa built this country and make it what it is today.
The majority of Americans across the country, regardless of political party,
wrong. I don't even know what you're saying, but I know it's wrong.
Know that immigrants from all over the world, Somalia, India, wherever they're from, Latin America, Africa, that immigrants have built this country and make this country what it is today.
Yep, wrong.
The majority.
Jeb Boasberg put in a gag order saying Jack Smith could illegally spy on senators' phones and then claims I didn't know that they were senators' phone numbers. Oh, come on.
Jeb Boasberg in 2023 with Jack Smith and Arctic Frost, who illegally gagged these telephone companies in violation of clear federal statute, which says that if you spy on a Senate office, you have to disclose that to the Senate. And Boasberg put in a gag order saying that Jack Smith can do this and the telephone companies cannot alert the Senate in violation of federal statute. Jeb Boasberg is now leaking out through one of these court officials that, oh, no, I just didn't know that these were senators' phone numbers. Well, why the hell is he authorizing spying and gag orders if he doesn't know who they're spying on, if he doesn't know who he's gagging? I mean, he's clearly not being honest there. Jeb Boasberg in 2023 with
Justin, Russia bans Apple's video calling app FaceTime. Wow, saying it's used to organize and conduct terrorist activities. I mean, I think it is encrypted, so you may not be wrong about that. I mean, if it works like iMessage at all, I assume. I mean, Apple is pretty good about that. So, President Trump participates in a signing ceremony. That's earlier. Oh, speaking of, let's check on the tree lighting. Oh, not happening, I guess.
So we're going to move that to tomorrow for a special evening of the Voice of Reason.
Not going just yet. Still awaiting them. All right. We'll keep going. Standing ovation as he walks out at this event announcing the peace agreement between Rwanda and the Congo.
Well, thank you.
Oh, he's at the Donald J. Trump Institute of Peace Building. Yeah, I don't think I covered that, but they the U.S. Institute of Peace Building now has Trump's name plastered on the front of the building. It's freaking hilarious. Nothing else, just Donald J. Trump. That's it. Fantastic. Look at that. They're, of course, livid about this. They're seething mad. It's such a great troll. Like, it just says Donald J. Trump and nothing else. Sure to piss them off. Fantastic. All right. President Putin says over 90% of Russia's trade transactions with India are conducted in national currencies. Navy Admiral tells lawmakers there was no kill them all order from Hegseth. So that one's put to bed, I guess. Oh, John Solomon on Reid Hoffman and dark money.
Reid Hoffman, founder of LinkedIn, one of the biggest funders of Democratic elections in the last 10 years.
Real dirtbag.
There was a debate that came up last time Pam Bondi was on the Hill saying he's not a dark money guy, he's not helping the senators. The Justice Department did an investigation at the direction of the president and reported to the Senate last night that Reid Hoffman was routing dark money through different groups and that some of the senators on the Senate Judiciary Committee, people like Dick Durbin, were the beneficiaries of that money, a major black eye to the Democrats who often say they're against dark money until you find out they're beneficiaries of it. So,
France President Macron warned the U.S. could be about to betray Ukraine, according to a leaked transcript of a call between European leaders. Oh, man. Good fun. Oh, Nancy Mace has announced that she, in fact, is not resigning early from Congress. So scratch that. She's not doing that. Now we get to the presser. Fed presser on the pipe bomb stuff.
Early this morning, Brian Cole Jr. was arrested and charged with placing the pipe bombs at the RNC and the DNC.
Boy, they got the whole crowd there. There's Hero, Patel, Bongino.
On January 5th, 2021. He has been charged with violating 18 U.S.C. 844, which is use of an explosive device. This investigation is ongoing. As we speak, search warrants are being executed, and there could be more charges to come. I'm going to let our U.S. Attorney discuss that shortly. This was the work of multiple agencies working together. This morning's operation was carried out safely and successfully. Early this morning, Brian Cole Jr. was arrested and charged with. This cold case languished for 4 years until Director Patel and Deputy Director Bongino came to the FBI. The FBI, along with U.S. Attorney Pirro and all of our prosecutors, have worked tirelessly for months
sifting through evidence that had been sitting at the FBI with the Biden administration for 4 long years.
Oof.
Let me be clear, there was no new tip, there was no new witness, just good, diligent police work and prosecutorial work. This
Interesting detail there. Yep. Seems indeed there was no new information that precipitated this. It was literally all down to a new team being put on the case roughly 6 weeks ago. Really, really, again, makes you wonder about that story from The Blaze, which I immediately pointed out as sketchy. Any more from that presser? No? Okay. Let's see Trump here at the Congo and Rwanda signing.
So this is a special occasion for a lot of reasons, but number one is it's our first occasion in this building using it for peace. And it's all about peace, and it's a great honor. And Marco, you've done a fantastic job in getting it ready, but it's a spectacular building, and we all appreciate it. And very importantly, we're settling a war that's been going on for decades with millions and millions of people killed. And these two gentlemen spent a lot of time backstage talking to each other and over at the Oval Office. We were at the Oval Office together. It was beautiful. And I think it's just a very important day.
Badass Uncle Sam says, can the women they accuse now sue the Blaze? I would fully expect that to happen, yeah. She was a private citizen before all this began. You know, they don't have the public figure thing to fall back on. When you do that to a private citizen that is otherwise unknown to the public, that's I mean, they really fucked themselves doing that. It was just a bizarre move by them. Yeah, I would absolutely expect that to happen. I think it still remains to be seen how legit this new suspect is. You know, we don't really have any info yet. I haven't seen anything that's like put me off of it as of yet, but then again, there hasn't really been much detail released. I mean, mostly I think because they don't really have any. It sounds like they are at least taking them at their word. Sounds like they are basically in the process of digging all the surrounding info up, because they only fell on this guy about 6 weeks or so ago, probably less than that. I guess they put the new team on 6 weeks ago, so no telling when they actually honed in on this guy. Very curious to see what they're going to be basing this on, and what especially what was the evidence that they're saying was left on the table, right? That these previous teams apparently just ignored for 5 years, or I don't know if ignored is the right word, but neglected to fully investigate. Let's go with. Very, very curious to find out what that is. Hopefully sooner rather than later. Okay. Terms for the Washington Accords, the peace deal here.
The compact we're signing today, which will be known as the Washington Accords, everybody sort of liked that name, formalizes the terms agreed to in June, including a permanent ceasefire, the disarmament of non-state forces, provisions for refugees to return to their homes, and justice and accountability for those who have committed illegal atrocities. Very importantly, this agreement also creates a new framework for economic prosperity. There's tremendous wealth in that beautiful earth. It's beautiful earth, but it was stained badly with blood, tremendous amounts of blood. But in the region that will support a lasting peace, and the Democratic Republic of the Congo and Rwanda have agreed to more closely integrate their economies with each other rather than fighting, and they'll be doing that. And these two gentlemen are very smart, and I think they liked each other a lot. I spent time with them. I think they like some people may be surprised. I really do. I think they've spent a lot of time killing each other, and now they're going to spend a lot of time hugging, holding hands, and taking advantage of the United States of America economically like every other country does. So they're going to do very well.
They don't exactly have the greatest track record when it comes to not raping and killing each other, so.
But they do have some valuable...
We'll see how long that lasts.
Very valuable things. They're going to have a lot of money and a lot of success, and I think they're going to get along really well, so I hope so.
Okay. Trump slashing immigrant work permits from lasting 5 years to merely 18 months. I mean, it's okay, I guess, but how about slashing them to 0 months? Wouldn't that be better? We already played that one. But you know what? It's so good, I just want to play it again.
True. This creates danger. And I'll tell you what, in my time on this, I'd never seen this before. People driving by my house and using the R word.
Retard!
In front of people. This is shameful. And I have yet to see an elected official, a Republican elected official, say, you're right, that's shameful. He should.
Because you're a retard.
Did not say it. So look.
Because it's true. I think we did that. Okay. Director Patel with Don Jr. Patel reveals that the Biden FBI will be exposed in court for covering up the January 6th pipe bomber. Really? Oh boy. Okay.
Will there ever be a look back on the way, perhaps your predecessors or other people in the FBI handle this to question those methods and motives? Again, the fact.
Good question. Yeah. What's the story with all the people that worked this case the last 5 years, or did not work the case, I guess?
That it disappeared, from the news basically the second, January 6th happened and was never brought back up again, even in the months following. It seems odd. And I mean, it seems like something that people would want answers to. Will there be a review process on how this was conducted differently, how you guys could do this, 4 years later and then, 8 or 9 months, actually come up with a suspect versus the prior administration having 4 years, a more immediate timeline, being able to go right into it, having the immediacy of that, or, even the fact that they just didn't care, doesn't that say so much about the weaponization of justice in America today?
Absolutely, and I think you're going to see it on parallel tracks. What you're going to see is, as this case presents itself in court, you're going to see where we were able to collect the evidence and make the case against this suspect. And then common sense journalism and investigators are going to be able to look at it and say, why did these people do X, Y, and Z 4 or 5 years ago? That's going to make itself self-apparent. But what we're doing at this FBI is also, we have replaced this entire leadership cadre. We have pushed out 1,000 agents into the field. There's a reason this FBI has 25,000 violent offenders arrested this year alone. That's twice as many as last year. There's a reason that this FBI is going to deliver President Trump the lowest murder rate in modern history by double digits. There is a reason this FBI is out there crushing fentanyl, destroying narco traffickers, and making sure the homeland is
get to the pipe bomb, dude.
Safe and
okay, come on.
preventing spies from infiltrating our homeland and our way of life. That's what happens when you change leadership from the prior administration FBI, who wanted to weaponize and politicize law enforcement, to us, President Trump and the Attorney General, who want to just deliver.
Oh, okay, no details. He just, oh well, worth a shot, I guess. Suspected January 5th, 2021 RNC and DNC pipe bomber, 30-year-old. See, I keep hearing different ages, 30 or 33. Brian J. Cole Jr. works as a bail bondsman in Northern Virginia, 5'6", wears corrective lenses, according to newly released affidavit. Okay. This I have not seen yet.
Well, we are beginning to learn a few small details about the D.C. pipe bombing suspect. Court documents say 30-year-old Brian Cole Jr. lives in a single-family house in Northern Virginia with his mother and other family members. We saw pictures of that house as federal officials were going through it with a fine-tooth comb. In terms of employment, he works as a bail bondsman, profession that may come in handy if he ever hopes to bond out of custody. They also say he's 5'6" and wears corrective lenses. What we don't yet know is a motive or the piece of evidence that led the FBI to him. Cole was arrested earlier this morning.
So still completely unknown. My guess is it will have zilch, not a zero, to do with gait analysis, and will have probably everything, mostly everything, to do with the perp's travels, both going into and back out of DC. If I remember right, they did have some detail about that, like a Metro card, travel heading into Northern Virginia. So I'm guessing it's probably going to have something to do with that, and nothing to do with gait analysis. Massey on pipe bomb investigation. Let's see.
It's somewhat of a distraction from what you all should be reporting on. You should be reporting on the lack of diligence for the last 5 years at the FBI on the...
I am just generally curious, just speaking of gait analysis, I would like to see if his walk matches the walk that we see, in the video. Hopefully I don't know how that would, like, how are people gonna get that? Maybe like maybe footage of him walking through the courtroom. But no, we're not gonna get that because this is a federal court, so there are no cameras. Unfortunately, they do not allow cameras in federal courtrooms ever. So I don't think we're gonna get a look at that. Unfortunately, I would like to see if he, happens to have a similar walk, but no, I don't think it's gonna have anything to do with the gate. I think it's probably gonna be his travels, or the alleged perp's travels, I guess I should say.
This investigation, and also a lot of the leads that they had that they let go cold and that they had ignored, and the improbable coincidence of the Capitol Police counter surveillance team that went to 2 pipe bomb locations within 15 minutes of getting out of their car that the pipe bomber had visited the night before. Chad, have you seen any press release from the FBI?
They're going to have a press conference this afternoon.
Okay, great. That's when it would be appropriate to comment.
But you don't know, but what you heard so far, you don't know if that syncs up with what they're going to say this afternoon.
What I know comes from 2 different whistleblowers.
It sounds like you're a little suspect of what they might present.
I am a suspect if it doesn't incorporate other facts that I know about. So we'll see. If it's like a single person acting singly without coordination among other people, I am very suspect.
I would kind of agree with that.
Yeah.
And then Serge.
Not entirely, but yeah, a little bit.
The Department of Justice on a schedule for the release of the files after your bill passed?
Well, they have until December 19th, which is now 15 days away, and it's a Herculean task. They have to put that stuff online. They have to redact it.
I think she's asking about Epstein files now.
have to redact any child sexual abuse material. They have to redact the victims' names, and they have to put it in a searchable format online for the public by December 19th, or else they are violating the law. So I hope they're going to be working overtime over the next 15 days getting that done.
But to be clear, you haven't gotten any updates from the department.
No, and we have asked for a very specific update. Attorney General Bondi said that they're opening a new investigation in light of new information. And in my role on the Judiciary Committee, which has oversight over the DOJ and FBI, I have asked for a meeting where they will tell us what that new information is that they discovered that would justify reopening the Epstein investigation.
Can I ask you a couple other questions here? You hear a lot of chatter now about them trying to do something on health care in the next couple of weeks. You know how that has bedeviled the Republicans for a while. Should there be any optimism that they can work out some sort of a compromise to address some of these subsidies or any sort of alternative plan by the end of the year?
I'm not very optimistic. I think they'll kick the can down the road. It's kind of the clock has run out, and it's almost their only option at this point. The question is, do they intend to do anything after they kick the can down the road? And I hope they do. I think Rand Paul has a lot of good ideas that he's been sharing with the president. We should offer some of those.
Why does this issue continue to hamstring Republicans?
Why does it?
Yeah, I mean, it's hamstrung them since 2009 when they passed the first bill.
It's a pretty easy answer. The insurance companies love Obamacare, and the insurance companies are one of the biggest donors to Republicans and Democrats. Most of the people up here have no interest in actually fixing it because they're making too much money on not fixing it campaign-wise.
Yep, he's right. Definitely right about that. Breaking from Senate floor right now, Majority Leader John Thune just dropped cloture on 3 Trump district judges and teed up an en bloc resolution to ram the rest through next week. Good. Some actual motion. God, I completely forgot about that. Yeah, Mark Kelly has a twin brother. Seditious Senator Mark Kelly's twin brother connected to Zelensky's aide who resigned last week. How? Okay. How? Connected to freaking Yermak. Okay, come on. Fluff. Get to the goods. Mark Kelly's twin brother. Zelensky enlisted Mark Kelly's twin brother to raise $2.8 billion for a USAID-created propaganda. Oh, how about that? Propaganda arm targeting U.S. voters and politicians. Much of the money moves anonymously via crypto. Observers note the conflict of interest. Brother of Senator Mark Kelly helping run a foreign influence operation targeting the very government his twin serves in. That's insane. What's the details on this? United 24. Created by Ukraine Ministry of Digital Transformation using a USAID-funded infrastructure, appointed Scott Kelly, Senator Mark Kelly's twin brother, as its ambassador to help raise money for the propaganda outlet. Fundraiser. Wow. Public fund thief, basically. Since then, it has raised $2.72 billion, much of it routed quietly via cryptocurrency. That's sketchy. Privacy for them, but not for you. That's how that's going to work. United 24 produces coordinated messaging marketed as fact-checking and anti-corruption efforts, but in practice operates as a state propaganda engine, aping U.S. public opinion and congressional support for Ukraine's war. Oh yeah, they love them some crypto. They can track everything you do and hide all the shit they do. Fantastic. Okay, Scott Kelly's United 24's funding via cryptocurrency would be easy to launder money. We suspected this was the case since the downfall of U.S. crypto exchange FTX fell apart. Oh. Yermak met with ambassadors of the United 24 fundraising platform last year in May. Senator Kelly, or his brother, rather, is obviously one of them. Last Friday, Yermak had his apartment raided. I wonder what for. Remember, there's all that stuff spinning around in Ukraine. Apparently hasn't really made its way to Western media yet about Ukrainian election interference in the 2016 election. Apparently involving Hillary Clinton. Senate GOP files to bulk confirm 97 Trump nominees all at once. Yeah, what was the holdup? Why didn't you just do that to begin with? Get it all done, man. Shit. U.S. Appeals Court sides with Trump, prevents an activist judge from forcing the National Guard out of D.C. Good. For a change. Yeah. White House's top media offenders of the week. Let's see. Oh. That's loud. Not sure what they were going for with that. In a huge win, White House announces the arrest of Somali illegal alien Abdul Qadir Sharif Abdi in Minneapolis. Oh, he looks nice. He's a member of Vice Lords and a former member of Gangster Disciples with a criminal record, according to the White House. Dang. Gangster Disciples, huh? Haven't heard that name in a while. Federal grand jury declines to indict New York AG Letitia James after DOJ refiled mortgage charges, or mortgage fraud charges, rather. Shitting me. Well, there goes that. Juror's decision will not bar prosecutors from bringing another indictment, so they may indeed try again. We'll see. Now do we get the pre-lighting ceremony? Are they live with that? I guess we missed it. It was brief. We'll check it out.
World's most famous house, getting ready to light up the world's most famous tree, and you can't top that.
You cannot top that. I'm so thrilled to be here with you, Gabby, at the White House and President's Park, where for over 100 years, this uniquely American tradition has brought our country together.
And as we come together tonight, it's important to remember those who can't be here with us. So let's give a special moment of deep appreciation to all of our men and women in uniform serving this great nation around the world. And may they feel our gratitude for all that they give.
Absolutely. That's right. We are so thankful. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, and First Lady, Melania Trump.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. It is beautiful, not too cold. There's no wind. We don't have to wear hats or anything. This is a special time.
He's crazy. It's freaking chilly out.
And Melania and I are thrilled to wish everyone here tonight and Americans all across this land a very, very Merry Christmas. So is everybody ready to light the beautiful Christmas tree? Are you ready? So the First Lady is going to do the honors. And we're going to do a countdown. We'll go from 5 to 0, okay? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Get ready, Melania. There you go. That's beautiful. That's gorgeous. Very, very nice tree.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you, Melania. And it's a beautiful
You did an excellent job lighting that thing up. It looks lovely.
beauty. And let me also recognize Vice President J.D. Vance and Second Lady Usha, as well as Secretaries Scott Bessent, Pete Hegseth, Attorney General Pam Bondi, Secretaries Doug Burgum and Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Administrator Kelly Loeffler, and their wonderful families are doing a fantastic job. And I see out in the audience the great one, Wayne Gretzky and Janet. Thank you very much, Wayne, for being
Wayne
here.
Gretzky, huh?
He's used to this kind of weather. Let's also express our gratitude to the great people of the National Parks.
Oh, she threw up on the bed? Oh. Okay.
Unbelievable performers here
We have a sick kitty.
Some incredible performers, and we have in the audience the Beach Boys. They're great.
The Beach Boys do?
During this holy season, Christians everywhere rejoice at the miracle in Bethlehem more than 2,000 years ago, when the Son of God, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, came down from heaven to be with us. You're right. Full of grace and truth, he brought the gift of God's love into the world and the promise of salvation for every person and every nation. And we just settled another war today. You saw that with Rwanda and the Congo. It's been going on for 34 years. Millions of people killed. Could be 20 million. They don't know what the number is, and we just settled it today. That was a big one. We're very happy to announce it on this important day. Tonight, this beautiful evergreen tree glows bright on the dark and cold winter night and reminds us of the words of Gospel of John, "In him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind." Beautiful words. With the birth of Jesus, human history turned from night to day. His word and his example call us to love one another, to serve one another, and to honor the sacred truth that every child is specially made in the image of God. For 250 years, think of it, our country is 250 years is a big year. I'm so happy that our presidency was delayed. Otherwise, I'd be sitting home watching television, not being invited. I would be extremely upset. And remember, we have not only the 250 years, but this is a big one. We have the World Cup and we have the Olympics coming up, all within this 4-year period. See, if they didn't rig the election, I would have been sitting, can you imagine? I wouldn't have any of them. And I probably wouldn't have been invited. I would have been very upset by that. But America has stood tall in part because millions of our citizens have heeded that call, and the faith and service of Christians have been essential parts of America's strength from the very, very beginning. Incredible. We love the Christians. We love all religions. And by the way, religion is coming back to the USA. You see that very strongly. So this Christmas season, let me say thank you to everyone who serves the needy and lifts up the communities inspired by faith. Thank you to the police, law enforcement officers, first responders, ICE, and Border Patrol agents who risk their lives every day to defend the innocent, protect the good, and keep the evil and danger at bay. And thank you to the men and women of the United States military, including the brave heroes of our National Guard here in Washington, D.C., where we've set a record for lack of crime in 28 years. So I just want to say we have a great place, and I want to pay my highest respects to those two great guardsmen. You know who I'm talking about. They paid, in one case, the ultimate, and the other, Andrew is getting better. Sarah, unfortunately, is watching from a high, watching from heaven. Her parents are so incredible, and Andrew is hopefully getting better. He got hit hard defending us, and I just want to pay my respects to them. Two incredible people, unbelievable people. I spoke with the parents and met the parents today, but the parents of Andrew, and they have spirit and they love our country so much you wouldn't believe. But as a nation, we have much to be grateful for. On this holiday season, our border is secure, our spirit is restored. Most secure border we've ever had in the history of our country. 7 months and nobody has come in illegally into our country. Nobody, not one. Our economy is thriving, inflation has stopped, our nation is strong, and America is back bigger and better, stronger, better than ever before. Think of it. And we're making peace all over the world. We're settling wars at levels that nobody's ever seen before. 8 of them. We're looking for one more. That's Russia, Ukraine, if that's possible. And I think we'll get there eventually. Last week, 8,000 soldiers killed. Last month, they had 27,000 soldiers needlessly killed. We got to get that stopped. We're working very hard on it. Just over 1 year ago, our country was in very, very serious trouble. The King of Saudi Arabia said to me very strongly, sir, 1 year ago your country was dead. Now you have the strongest and hottest country anywhere in the world. Can you imagine? We did this in 10 months. What a difference, and it's true. Everybody feels that, and all leaders feel that. So as we prepare to celebrate the miracle of Christmas, we thank God for his many blessings, and together we rejoice at the true source of greatness, happiness, and strength. The good news is that glorious nights 2,000 years ago, think of it, 2,000 years ago, it was indeed a glorious night. So I want to thank everybody here. I want to pay my deepest respect and love to all of our great citizens, like 350 million people. We love them all. Whether you like them or not, we love them all. We want to take care of everybody. We have to take care of everybody in our country. I want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and have a good time. And you're going to see some great entertainment. Thank you very much, everybody. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
All right, well, there we go. Let's pop back here, see if we can find anything in the last 10 minutes.
Every time I see people that disagree with anything that's happening, any gigantic world events, it's one of these retarded shows where they're screaming. There's the word again. We brought it. Yeah. We were just talking about that.
Did it early.
The word retarded is back.
Oh, so back.
And it's one of the great culture victories that I think
fully agree.
Is spurred on probably by podcasts, but
good times. All right. What do we have? Oh, boring. Piers Morgan being hard. Who cares?
What type of people does Frank really love?
Frankie McDonald. All right. Let's jump to check out Breaking 911. University of Alabama shuts down student-run BLM and feminist magazines after Trump's DEI anti-discrimination order.
2 student-run publications.
They also canceled a magazine promoting white culture. Just kidding. That was never allowed.
Say their days of being published are over. This comes after organizers of a MoveOn.org petition claim a memo from U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi said they go against anti-discrimination laws because they focus on specific demographics. 1956 is geared towards black students, and Alice focuses on women.
The university backpedaling on its promise of diversity, equity, and inclusion, which was a big deal in 2020. So the fact that only 5 years later we see that that's not being valued anymore, it's definitely...
It never was. It was always a steaming garbage heap, ma'am.
Definitely, a travesty.
Tiana Tate founded the 1956 magazine in 2020 during the peak of George Floyd's death. In the protests and unrest that followed, she says she's disappointed by the university's decision to permanently suspend the publication.
The University of Alabama in particular hasn't been pushing back a lot when it's come to these different mandates.
How did something this stupid ever run a magazine?
And
It can barely speak.
DEI laws, which is truly, a shame.
At like a 4th grade level.
Alice web editor Sarah Beth Cadell told me This is a blatant attack on freedom of speech and the press.
We were actually told in our meeting with Student Life yesterday that it's not about the content that we post. It's about the fact that our audience is too specific.
A statement from the university says in part, it remains committed to supporting every member of its community, but it has to comply with its legal obligations, which requires everyone to feel welcome to participate in programs funded by the Office of Student Media. It goes on to say, students' First Amendment rights are still fully intact.
For these publications to be being silenced right now during such a pivotal time when students are counting on the university to make the right decisions despite the laws that are being passed to kind of abridge on that free speech, it's very, concerning.
Mark Warner still whining about the drug boat.
Bradley, those two men that were in the water, based on what you saw, do you feel like they became an offensive threat to military?
Again, I am not going to I'm going to say the video was very troubling, and I think more people need to see it. But I want to better understand process, justification, and some of the items. I had a checklist of items that I want to see that I think some of my...
Oh, now he wants to better understand the process. Now he wants to. All right, look at this. There's more on the pipe bomb situation here from Patel on LaDon Jr. First up. Oh, and then we'll take a look at the affidavit last up. Let's see. Kash Patel. The FBI has known... Wow. So they've known the pipe bomber's identity the entire time. For 5 years. Apparently. Or at least somewhere in the FBI this was known. Thanks to their cellular analysis survey team, but the old FBI regime buried it.
Oh, based on the publication of the press conference that, yes, there were tips in there clues in there that we keyed in on, like the sneakers, like the height, like the appearance. And we refined those images. And we also used our brilliant CAS system. And what that is our cell phone analytic capability to go back and say, who was in the area? And also, why wasn't this discovered before?
Yeah, there you go. It's gonna, told you, it's gonna be based on his movements, on the day in question.
It's not like we recreated the cell phone data from 5 years ago. People just sat on it, and that's your point. They decided not to do anything. We took the opposite approach, and look where we are today. We arrested the January 6th pipe bomber. Oh, based on
What else do we know about the suspect, Kash? I mean, and there were some other, false reports a few weeks ago identifying someone else. Did those reports have any impact on the timing of this arrest?
Zero. We don't base our reporting.
No, I think the reverse is true. I think the story dropped because an arrest was imminent.
Investigations and our arrest based on timelines of baseless reporting. We present the evidence with our partners at the Department of Justice for prosecution when we meet the evidentiary threshold that was necessary. And that's what we did here. And I got to remind the audience here, remember, this individual was 25, Don, at the time that he placed the pipe bombs. That's a young person. And we have to go out there and map not just his network, but we also have to go out there on days like today, when we hit the house and we hit his place of work. We have to go out there and carefully make sure that those houses and buildings are safeguarded so that our workers and our bomb techs and our evidence response team can go in there and collect the necessary evidence for the prosecution that the U.S. Attorney's Office needs. So we're developing more and more. The suspect's in custody. We've spoken to him. Of course, I can't get into the information that's being provided as a result of the search warrant of those conversations. We'll make those present in the judicial process, but we're confident in our ability of executing for the American people.
So there you go. Yeah, it does indeed sound like they are kind of building cases. They find things. Told you, man. It's gonna come down to his travels from Virginia into DC. to the location and back. Okay, anything more here? Oh, thank you, Steph. I want to see if we can find any more from that Junior interview. So.
So, there's been some, uncertainty, certainly online. So I don't know what's real and what's not. Sometimes it's a little hard to follow. But on when these devices were actually planted, does this arrest crystallize the timeline at all in terms of, the sequence of events that's sort of been, up in the air again, especially online?
It absolutely does. And I don't want to get ahead of the Department of Justice, but you're going to see a crystal clear timeline and picture in the next 24 hours.
Oh, okay.
When this individual makes his presentment and first appearance in court, and we proceed with the paperwork to his arraignment.
So we will actually get a look at least some of what they're claiming about this guy in the next 24 hours.
That's where key pieces of information are going to be made public for the first time, because that's where key pieces of information legally must be made public for the first time. And we're not going to disrupt that process, because that would hurt the integrity of the investigation, and most importantly, it would hurt the integrity of the prosecution that's upcoming.
So
okay. All right, let's look at the affidavit real quick before I hand off here. There you go. There it is. Let's see what all is contained here, if anything. Oh, that's just the first page. Where's the full? Okay, 7 pages. Yep, they make mention of the cell tower stuff. All right. Let's see. Affidavits being made in support of a criminal complaint, alleging Brian J. Cole Jr. transported in interstate commerce an explosive with knowledge or intent that it will be used to kill, injure, or intimidate any individual, or unlawfully to damage or destroy any building, vehicle, or other real or personal property. Okay. Review of surveillance footage shows that they're replaced by the same individual. Okay, they were observed between such and such a time. Video footage shows the individual traveling on foot through surrounding neighborhoods. There's RNC and DNC. They make a big deal about the movements on foot. FBI conducted a reverse projection photogrammetry examination, i.e. a height analysis of the individual depicted in the video surveillance footage. Height analysis showed the approximate distance from the ground to the top of the individual's head, including headwear, was approximately 5 feet 7 inches, with about an inch margin of error. Talk about his corrective eyeglasses. Okay, weird. Okay, talk about his purchases of bomb-making equipment. Really? At Home Depot. Yep, Home Depot. Which one? Okay. Yeah, they make a list of all the stuff he bought here. All right, now the cell phone stuff. FBI obtained historical cell site records associated with cell towers located in the immediate vicinity of the RNC and DNC for the relevant time period. Historical cell site records associated with cell towers provide location data for cell phones at specific points in time when the cell phone engages in a transaction with the cell phone tower. Such transactions can include voice calls, text messages, or other data usage. Transactions involving data usage can include a user's active use of a phone, like navigating to a web page, or during a user's passive use of a phone, such as when an application on the phone refreshes data in the background. That's okay. Cell phone service provider that provides service to the Cole cell phone included historical cell site records associated with the location of the devices on the provider's network on January 5th, 2021. Devices on its network that engaged in transactions include voice calls, text messages, data usage. Okay. Provider records show that the Cole cell phone connected with provider cell phone towers in the area of the RNC and DNC on January 5th, 2021. Engaged in approximately 7 data session transactions with provider towers between 7:39 p.m. and 8:24 p.m. Provider's historical cell site data shows the specific tower for each of the transactions, so they can place them in the general vicinity at the time in question. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, a lot seems to hinge on the cell phone tracking. Cole's registered owner of a 2017 Nissan Sentra. Observed driving past the license plate reader at the South Capitol Street exit from I-395 South, which is less than 1/2 mile from the location where the individual who placed the devices was first observed on foot. And that's about it. And some purchase history in the area. And at other times. Okay. Not on January 2021. Approximately 3 weeks before the pipe bombs were placed, Cole made a purchase at a restaurant located near 1st and D Street Southeast. Somewhere in the area, so he was kind of, at least allegedly, scoping it out beforehand. Okay. That's all they get there. Sounds like we'll find out more tomorrow. All right, that's it for me. Let me pop my chair down here. I think LC's here. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Pretty good. Trying to get a handle on all this pipe bomb shit.
Oh, yeah. Should be interesting.
Yep. Here's to the details tomorrow. We'll see.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
That's what are the allegations so far? I haven't been keeping up.
It sounds like they tracked his cell phone and he's like a bail bondsman? But he's a black guy, which is just bizarre. Did not expect that. I thought it was a woman.
Didn't they say originally it was like a Fed?
That was what the Blaze story claim was. They claimed it was some Capitol Police lady. Yeah, this new guy is he might be the son of a bail bondsman. I don't know if he's actually in the bail bond business himself, but in Woodbridge, so right outside DC, maybe 30 minutes out. Yep.
Well, it'll be good to know more.
Yeah, that's really about it. There's not too much aside from that.
It makes sense, right? Investigation and whatnot.
Yeah, we're not going to find out until it plays out in court.
Right. Yeah, can't put your cards on the table. That's the name of the game.
Yep. Well, I'll let you get to it, man. I know we're like 10 minutes over here, so.
Oh, you're
cool. It's all you, brother. Yeah, you have a good show.
Thanks a lot.
You know it. Take it easy, man. See ya. All right, guys. Well, I suppose that's it for me. I will be back tomorrow, Friday morning. So I will see you then. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Adios.